It's like real, I ain't taking L's in Madden all year.
Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's Rage Real. So in today's video, I want to bring you this pistol tight slots mini scheme in Madden 23. So if you enjoyed this video, go and drop a like on the video right now. Go ahead and sub and turn on post notifications on. So in today's video, I am in the Dolphins offensive playbook. Again, I'm in the Dolphins offensive playbook. Now, if you do like this scheme and you want to see more of it, then make sure you do go check out my ebook. I will be putting the ebook out on it. Well, if you want an ebook on this formation, I should say, make sure that you do go on the website and then you actually hit request ebook, and then you'll be able to request the ebook from there. So if you want to take a look at the ebooks I have on my website, I have about 11. I just dropped single back deuce close not too long ago. So just make sure you go check it out. They're like $15 a piece, and I promise you, you will love them. So last thing I want to say is, man, I really want to do a CFL. So at this time, if you want to do a free CFL and you're in the PS4, you know, you play PS4 current gen, then make sure you go sign up and grab your spot for the free CFL. Since the money CFL isn't working, I want to do free because I want to bring you guys some gameplay, but I want to do CFL gameplay. I don't really enjoy playing regs gameplay, so I want to do CFL because those are really fun to me. So if you're interested at all, just go to the website, go to the CFL section and just, you know, sign up. Basically, you just make an account and then you reserve your spot, and then you get a Discord link, and then you'll be in the Discord. So just, if you're interested in that, go check it out. But that's pretty much going to be everything as far as announcements goes. So let's go on and dive right into this video. So now, the only reason I chose the Dolphins because it is their playbook. So you do not need the Dolphins to run the scheme. What I'm basically saying is you don't need Tyreek Hill to run the scheme. But as far as personnel goes, you want to put your fastest receiver in this spot right here, and you want to put your second fastest receiver here. Well, actually, it doesn't matter. You just need your fastest receiver here. Now, between this receiver and this receiver, where Jalen Waddle is and where Wilson is, it literally depends on you. And normally, I would like to do it like my best receiver here, my second best here is probably the better way to do it, and I'll put my third best here. So what I'm gonna do is actually put Jalen right here, and then we're gonna go ahead and put Cedric Wilson back right there. Even though you can tell these rosters are from the beginning of the year, sometimes I don't know why they don't update. I think I have to go to online and then come back for the rosters update, but everything in here is gonna work the same way. So I'll put Sheffield in here because that's realistically, he's still on the Dolphins. Just like, for example, they have Chase Edmonds. As you guys know, he's no longer on the Dolphins. Wait, am I tripping? Yeah, he's not on the Dolphins. It's been a lot of roster changes, so I actually forgot, but I don't think he's on there no more. Yeah, that's right. They got Jeff Wilson over there now. That's so you can tell. That's why they don't have Jeff Wilson in here. So yeah, just the roster update hasn't really happened yet, but it don't really matter for right now. So what I want to do is just show you all the good run plays in here. So they have counter Y, they have halfback dive, they have HB zone. Those are the only run plays they have. Now I'm gonna show you the RPO. Now this is nothing new. The RPO is not nothing new, but I'm gonna show you how it works on current gen, and also I'm gonna show you a couple things I like to do when I'm running the RPO, so to make it worth watching this video. Now there are other great plays in here. So the one I want to take a look at is PA post shot, because as the play says, it's a shot play. So you actually can set it up to bomb different coverages, and I'm gonna show you how I like to do it. So I'm gonna show you the run plays, show you RPO, and I'm gonna show you how I like to set up PA post shot, and that's gonna be what the video entails. So without further ado, man, let's go ahead and dive right into this video. So as far as defense, what you're realistically going to see is some type of dollar look, or you're going to see some type of nickel look, whether that's over or 335 normal. That's just the meta right now between over, 335, and dollar. So I'm just going to stay in dollar because realistically people are going to first come out in dollar because you can pass out of this formation. So I'm going to show you cover 4, cover 3, cover 2, and man cover. So let's go in and come out in cover 3. Now, it all just depends when you run this play. So for those of you guys that don't know, in this particular playbook, in this particular formation, you actually can't give the ball to your running back. And I kind of want to show you that here. So notice the R, wherever the R is, that's where you want to look to read and see what happens. So right here, we see a keep animation by a quarterback. So what's cool is that you'll be able to get outside the pocket. Now, I suggest you use somewhat of a fast quarterback. They do give you a speed boost, but not a huge one. As you can tell, we got Hawk down right there. So you want to look for the give animation. Well, you want to look for the keep animation, excuse me. But if they pull up, notice how I can't, I tried to press X to spam it to give it to the running back, but you're not able to. So on this particular play, they do not let you hand the ball off, okay? So either you got to run with your quarterback or you got to throw it. Now, let's say I read it wrong. I'm gonna do that again. So let's say for some reason you didn't like what you seen when you try to throw the ball. And I'll explain what to do if you want to know how to kind of contain this play. But let's say you didn't like what you seen when you went to throw the ball. What you can do is actually take the ball and turn up and just grab some yards if you don't like what you read initially, just so that way you can avoid getting a penalty. So let's say I want to square. Oh, square's not open. Okay, let me just turn up and just try to make something happen. Obviously the holes are not going to be that pretty. They can be, but I am all bad in practice mode as well, so just keep that in mind, okay? So I just want to make sure I mention that. Now, what normally gets open? So this is cover 3. Now, if they are not pass committing, triangle is always going to be open, pretty much always. So we're going to peep triangle. Notice how the flat defender is going to go chase on the read option. That is because we are not pass committing. And I'll show you what it looks like when we pass commit. But this is the flat defender right here. So he's supposed to go play in the flats, but he gets caught up on this action right here, and that's why this play is so overrated. And we also probably could have squeezed it in right here. Maybe. I normally don't like making that read, but you could try it depending on who you have at quarterback. But triangle is normally always going to be your read in that scenario. Now, let's say they pass commit, right? So we just pass commit, gets the pass. Now, kind of watch what happens. Now, notice how they're going to kind of widen out. Now, yes, technically there's a small gap there, but it's nowhere near what it was. So why am I taking my time to show you this? Why am I taking my time to show you this, bro? So the reason why I'm showing you this is because I need you to see how they react different. So notice how now there's not so much clutter right here. So this guy's actually, so you could essentially read him. You can read whoever the flat defender is, and that'll tell you if they're pass committing or if they're pass committing or if they're not pass committing. And a lot of times the user will normally be right up in here anyways. So normally if I see that guy drift outwards, that tells me, okay, they're pass committing, and I would probably try to turn the ball up and get some yards, or I may try to throw something quick like right here or right here. Just depends on where the user is. Now, why did I just take my time to explain that to you? So the reason why, let's say they pass commit, right? So they're pass committing, we've seen it. So this is when I like to test out these other run plays right here when I know they're pass committing. Now, although it's not gonna be like a huge advantage, but you get a slight advantage if they guess wrong. It's not major, which is the problem with this game, but it's slight. You get slightly better blocking, I would say. So now we're gonna run a counter, and remember, we pass committed. So what that means is that they just aren't gonna pursue as hard on the run. Now, obviously, the gaps are not gonna be that huge, and most people, when they come out in these dollar sets, they pinch their whole entire defense. So I'll kind of show you that again. So let's pinch defense. Let's call pass, right? Because we're trying to simulate the user, worried about that pass out there. So normally I like to ID the user, which is normally going to be that guy normally. And as you can tell, we're still able to kind of sneak in there and get some yardage. And it's just good because when you run the ball and they pass commit, it's a little bit better blocking, just a little bit. But I love the counter. I love the dive. I'm going to pass commit again. And don't worry, I'm gonna show you what it looks like versus man and everything. I just want you to see something. That's all. So just notice how we're just gonna be able to find gaps. And I just also wanted you to show the. I just wanted you to show the runs to. I wanted to show the runs to you. Jesus Christ, I can't talk. So, anyways, we're gonna pinch our line, pass commit, and again, don't forget we could flip the plays to the run. We also can motion, which I was gonna talk about that here in a second. How I like to utilize motion. This is one way I like to utilize motion, and I may do misdirection, meaning that I'll flip the play. Let's go back, motion them back. So misdirection just means we're going to go to the weak side. So I might flip the play and then take this guy and motion him this way. So that way the user might try to run commit left, or they may try to, take their user right here and just shoot straight this way on the run, or they may take him and shoot straight this way. It's just good to try to, it messes with the user's head. So sometimes I may try that. And if I do that type of play, I normally ID this linebacker because we need him blocked. It don't work all the time, but we need him blocked. Now, obviously, if we, run to the weak side and they have a symmetrical formation, then, it doesn't really matter. But anyways, next thing I want to talk about before I talk about the pass concepts. I know this is a lot. I hope you guys do appreciate it. Now, man coverage, the same thing with man. If they do not pass commit versus man coverage, triangle is normally going to be open every single time for a huge game. I'm not going to say one play touchdown. I'll say a huge game. That's if they're not pass committed. Now, if they are pass committing, let me show you what it looks like. Then what we're going to be able to do is just see that, okay, well, you have to, even if they pass commit, you have to do it. I believe if you put your cornerbacks based on speed, they actually play it correctly. It is something you can do to counter this for sure. But I am pass commit. But that's if your opponent knows about it, Again, I just pass committed, and it's still kind of, working consistently. So if they don't know how to stop it, you can definitely keep doing that if they want to stay in man coverage. It's definitely 1000% a glitch on here. So wanted to mention that now. Last thing I want to talk about with RPO before I move on to the passing concepts is don't be afraid to motion people. So I like to try out motion in everybody other than triangle. So what I mean by that is sometimes I'll take this guy and motion him out because the next passive play I'm gonna give you requires us to motion that guy out. And a lot of times if I motion him out, I like to make his post route a little skinnier. So we do that by smart routing it. So this is what it looks like normally, and when we smart route it, it gets ran a little bit short, if you could tell. Now, I normally only like this versus certain coverages, but always like to look at triangle. I normally always like to look there because if they don't pass commit, that's going to be your main read basically every single time, to be honest with you. So now, one more motion I like to do is actually take my tight end right here and motion him to this side. And the reason I like that because it gives us a quick out to hit, if that makes sense. We just read it. Sometimes it's not open, sometimes it is. So notice how right there it is going to open up and we can get a lot of yards. So that's good versus an aggressive style user. But be very careful with that one because you technically can get baited. So just be smart. Be smart, that's all. Because a lot of times the user will run straight and cover this right here. So we're really just flooding them, or they'll be up in here a lot of times. So when you throw this ball, you might gain about 4 or 5 yards. You know, turn it up a lot of times, the user will be right there as you see. So it's just a quick boom boom type of play, and it sets us up good for the next play that I'm about to show you. So anyways, last thing I want to show you dealing with this is zone blitz. So if they do a zone blitz, I love to take this guy and motion him out. Also, keep in mind, if your opponent does not re-base a line, you can throw triangle quick because obviously the corner is not out there. And at that point, it's just a foot race, you know. So if you want to put your fastest player there, you definitely can. That's why I did like Jalen Waddle there. But for passing concepts, I like to put him on the other side, if that makes sense. So again, sorry, I know I'm taking 11 minutes on one play. So what we're going to do is go ahead and move on. So we're going to take Tyreek Hill, motion him out for this setup. You want to smart route his route. And you want to take triangle, put him on a slant. You want to take X, put him on a drag. Now, this setup right here will bomb almost every single coverage, almost. Not all of them, but almost. Now, if you have enough speed right here, listen, if you have enough speed on the outside, you don't need a Tyreek Hill, but if you have enough speed on the outside, you can actually bomb cover 3, and I'll show you why this is possible. So you just need a little bit of time in the pocket, and you want to throw it as soon as he crosses the face of the safety, and at that point, it becomes a foot race. So again, there is another setup I want to give you for specifically for cover 4 drop, but we'll talk about that in a second. So the reason that this gets open is simply because of this slant route. It's been in the game since Madden 21, I believe. For some reason, when there's slants ran and there's nothing else targeting the cornerback over here, what he does is actually drifts towards the slant a little bit. And of course, as you see, that's going to leave this lane right here that's open. So you want speed right here because this guy needs to be faster than that guy, essentially, is what's going to happen. And he needs to be faster than the safety because he's just basically going to run away from them. So whoever your fastest guy is needs to be right there. It's not so much about route running. It's so much about speed. You can tell that gap is going to open up, and we'll be able to exploit that gap pretty much every single time. So I like to run bomb plays twice. So what I'm going to do is go back to PA post shot. Remember, smart route, squares route, you want to motion them out. Triangle on the slant, X on the drag. And normally I like to keep the play action. And if you need to cancel the play action, you can by hitting R2. But normally I like to keep it. And of course, as you see, we just need to get that ball out there. And it is a tough throw if you wait. So you want to throw it as soon as he's running past that cornerback. Safety. You want to throw it as soon as you cross the face of the safety. Now, this play is good because a lot of times the user will go run and guard this. And if they don't, you can tell we can still throw that pass lead up, you know, and get a nice completion. Or we could take our drag right out the backfield because the standard purples are going to kind of mid-play both of them, which is better for us, honestly. But again, you want to throw this ball right about now whenever he's fully crossed that safety. And you can tell we're letting the ball go right now. We threw it a second too late, but you want to throw that ball right about here. So that's how I love to do that play. Now, that is cover 3. Cover 2 is going to bomb it the same exact way. We're going to use the same exact setup right here. We're going to take square and motion them out. Smart route on triangle on the slant. X on a drag. And again, you can cancel the play action if you need to. It's all up to you. But what's cool is that safety is going to pretty much slide out the way at the last second to go ahead and try to guard that slant. And that's where we're going to throw it over the top for a 1-play touchdown. And it's a good sneaky dot because a lot of times the user will halfway play this slant and then they'll come and circle back and look to play this. And about time they realize this, they're going to be trailing this route right here. And we're going to be able to throw it over the top of their head because we're, you know, that's our fastest player. And again, look at the safety slide because of the slant. And that's what opens up that window for us to throw that nice dot in. So that's cover 2. Actually, I'll run it one more time because I did say I'll be consistent and show you guys. So this time we'll actually play press coverage. So let's go back to it. Motion that guy out, triangle on the slant, X on the drag. Again, you can block your running back if you want to, or you can cancel the play action, or you can keep the play action. It just depends. But square, I mean, you just can't ask to get you can't ask to get more open than that. I mean, honestly. So that right there is cover 2. So next thing we'll talk about is man coverage. So this play is perfect versus man coverage. I really love this play versus man. Because what's going to happen is we can split cover 2 man, or if they play 1 or 2 high safeties or no safeties, we can still have square over the top as long as he is better than that cornerback. As long as he is better than him. Keep that in mind. And since that is Tyreek Hill, we're going to be able to split those safeties, and it's the same type of throw. So normally it's just, is that guy faster than him? Yes. Okay. A lot of times you'll get that win animation that we're looking for. So I don't want to run this again because I want to show you cover 4 drop, then add a bit of video. But essentially, the good thing about this slant is that it's off the line. So notice how Tyreek Hill's on the line of scrimmage. He's off the ball. So a lot of times he won't get pressed just because he's off the line of scrimmage. So notice how he gets a press animation. He gets a press I can't get to him. He gets a press animation because he's on the line of scrimmage. Notice how our tight end doesn't get a press animation and our slant. So we have 2 quick options that can't get pressed. So we have a quick drag if it's open, and we have a slant. So a lot of times the user is going to be between these 2 routes anyways, and what we're looking for really is up top. And a lot of times this route, you need a good route runner for this to get open. That's why I told you to put Jalen Waddle or your second string receiver here, because he needs to have good route running to get open. You can tell Jair is going to absolutely bag him, but you know, what we would have took is just our slant or our post, if that makes sense. So that's how I love to read that, man. Now, last thing I want to show you is cover 4 drop, because it is a slightly different setup. But first, I want to show you why it's a slightly different setup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up the same exact way and just kind of show you, well, didn't mean to do that, my bad. I'm going to show you why I don't like this particular setup. So what we're going to do, if they let me motion them, please, thank you. All right, so I'm going to motion them out. We already small route route, triangle on the slant, X on the drag. And it's just, you can still bomb it. It's just, you know, I don't know. It's close, you know. So I don't know if it's just because Tyreek Hill is faster. I'm not sure. I don't want to waste any more of your time just trying to take him out, sub him out. But what I'm gonna do is first I'm gonna get rid of his glowing. I'm gonna get rid of his X factor, because I don't want you guys thinking that it's because of that. Imagine we catch that. Okay, cool. So since I pressed square, it should be gone now, his X factor. So I wanted to get rid of it just so you guys will be like, well, that's only because he had an X factor that he was able to get separation. So PA post shot, what we're going to do is motion that guy out. I'm going to go to cover 4 drop. Here we go. Now, I'm only spying the center just so I can have some time in the pocket because I don't want to run this play again. So triangle, I like to put him on a zig route. And that is the only setup difference I like. I like to block my tight end. And I love to run it just like this. So the reason why I like it like this is just because we're going to be able to bomb square a lot better. Notice how he kind of takes a little bit longer to actually turn around. And a lot of times you will be able to float it over his head because he is the faster player. Now, last thing I want to show you before I end the video is that you don't have to smart route his route. I'm pretty sure you don't have to smart route his route when bombing cover 4 drop. Remember, I said when bombing cover 4 drop. Just cover 4 drop. I don't believe you need the smart route. I think it works better if you leave it stock. We'll actually see right now, see how much better it gets open. Yeah, so okay, yeah, so that's what you want to do. When it comes to cover 4 drop, make sure that you are actually not smart routing the route on cover 4 drop, and you will be able to throw it right over the top of their head. Now, last thing I want to test out is doing the original setup, but not smart routing squares route. I want to see if it gets open the same way, and if it does, this is the better setup because we have another option to look at when it comes to triangle. So we'll see. All right, yeah, so we can still use the same exact setup. So we can use the same exact setup, but for cover 4 drop, make sure you do not smart route the route, and you'll be able to clear cover 4 drop. It'll just take a tiny bit longer, that's all. But anyways, that's where I'm putting for this video. I do hope you guys have a blessed day. I'm Ray Jarrell, and I'm out.